All right, let's get right into it. If you're in offensive security, you've probably got this big question looming over you. Two major certifications, two totally different philosophies, GXPN and OSCP. Today, we're going to break down exactly which path is the right one for you right now in 2025.
Okay, let's dive in. It really all boils down to this one simple question. Are you a practitioner or are you a pioneer? Do you want to be the person who masters the art of executing flawless, enterprise-level pen tests? Or are you the pioneer, the one who's driven to actually discover and engineer the exploits of tomorrow?
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll set the stage for why this choice is so important right now. Then, we'll do a deep dive into each cert, the OSCP and the GXPN. We'll put them side by side with the hard data, and then we'll help you make that final call. Let's do it.
So why the big discussion? Why now? Well, it's because, let's be real, the game has totally changed.
See, the folks on the blue team, they're not just sitting back anymore. They're armed with seriously sophisticated tools like EDR, zero trust models, and yeah, even AI-powered detection. For us on the offensive side, that means the old playbook, it's just not going to cut it. We have to level up.
And this right here perfectly splits the difference. You basically need one of two skill sets to thrive. On one side, you have practical pen testing, the art of navigating a real-world corporate network. On the other, you've got deep exploit engineering, the science of actually creating the tools and techniques that make those attacks possible to begin with. All right, first up, let's talk about Path 1, the OSCP. You've probably heard of it. It's kind of the industry's rite of passage for the hands-on practitioner.
I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head. The OSCP is your proof. It proves you have the method, the grit, and the practical skills to run a full pen test from A to Z, especially in a modern Active Directory setup.
So you gotta ask yourself, is this you? Are you trying to get your first job in the field, or maybe solidify your role as a top-tier pen tester? Do you want to become an absolute beast at Active Directory attacks? That try-harder mindset isn't just some catchy phrase. It's a reputation this certification literally builds for you.
And that reputation is forged in a trial by fire. The exam is a grueling 24-hour marathon inside a simulated corporate network. It tests everything from your initial scan all the way to full domain compromise. And then you have another 24 hours to write a professional-grade report. It's about as real-world as a test can get.
But hey, don't let that scare you. There's a really clear path to get there. A structured 90-day plan. You start with the fundamentals, then you go deep on Active Directory and privilege escalation, and you finish up by running full-on exam simulations to build that speed and endurance. It's totally doable.
Okay, let's completely switch gears. If the OSCP is the rite of passage for the practitioner, then the GXPN, well, that's the black belt for the deep-diving technical pioneer.
And you really can't say it better than this. GXPN isn't about running the exploits somebody else wrote, it's about creating them. This is for the folks who genuinely get a kick out of reverse engineering, memory corruption, and figuring out how to beat the very latest defensive tech.
So does this sound more like you? Do you dream about finding 0 days, writing custom tools for a red team, and understanding software at its absolute lowest level? If so, this is the path for those super niche, high-impact research jobs.
And the exam is a whole different beast. It's a 3-hour sprint, not a marathon. It mixes deep theoretical questions with these cyber live labs, where you are literally writing code, debugging programs, and building exploits in real time, all while the clock is ticking.
The prep for this is just as intense. It's heavy on the low-level stuff, like assembly and memory. From there, you move into hands-on exploit dev and fuzzing, and you finish with timed drills to build that speed and accuracy you need to survive those CyberLive labs.
All right, we've talked about the feel, the philosophy behind each one. Now, let's get down to the brass tacks, the head-to-head comparison with the numbers you need to decide. And this right here tells you everything you need to know about the experience of taking these exams. OSCP is a marathon. It's a test of your endurance, your methodology over a full day. GXPN, that's a 3-hour sprint. It tests your speed, your precision, and your deep, almost academic technical knowledge. They're two completely different kinds of challenges. This table just lays it all out nice and clean. But I want you to look at that last row, best 4. GXPN is really for the exploit developers, the researchers.
OSCP is for the frontline pen testers and consultants. So the big question is, which one of those job titles do you want on your business card?
Okay, let's talk money, because it matters. The standard OSCP path with the Pen 200 course and 1 exam attempt is going to run you about $1,750. That price point makes it a really popular choice, especially for people paying their own way to break into the industry.
Now, hold on to your hat. The GXPN is a different story. The exam voucher itself is around $2,000, but it's really designed to be taken after the official SANS course. All in, that can easily push the total cost north of $8,500. It's a huge investment, and it's usually paid for by a company for its senior-level folks.
All right, I want to give you a huge pro tip here, based on where people usually stumble. For the OSCP, people fail when they rush. They skip enumeration, they don't practice Active Directory enough, or they turn in a sloppy report. Any of those will sink you. For the GXPN, the killer is not writing enough code. You absolutely cannot pass this by just reading theory. You have to live inside a debugger.
Okay, we've laid it all out. The philosophies, the cold hard data, even the traps to avoid. Now it's time to put it all together and choose your destination.
So, what's the verdict? Well, for most people, the recommended path looks something like this. You start with the OSCP. It opens doors and gives you that crucial practical foundation. Then, you spend a couple of years in the trenches, getting real-world experience. And once you're a seasoned practitioner, that's when you go for the GXPN to specialize. You see, the skills aren't enemies, they're partners. A GXPN's deep knowledge makes an OSCP's practical work way more effective. It's a powerful 1-2 punch for your career. And there you have it. The choice between the practitioner and the pioneer, between mastering the enterprise network and engineering the unknown. The paths are clear, the challenges are known. So the only real question left is the one right here on the screen. What will you build and what will you break? The next move is yours.